Hi Vince.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since we've seen each other, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was looking into the subject-object relationship, and there's this thing that still maybe I have asked it about it already, but it's still here. It's that other people are perceived very strongly. And so it's because when I look at the direct experience, there is no in all the forms and colors that appear, in all the shapes, in everything that is bodily sensations and perception. There is no objects, there is no things, there is no, including other people. But that feels, because other people are maybe like sounds and shapes and colors and movement. And this feels like it's morally wrong. When it's about me, there is not this moral dilemma, this moral problem, and the me is perceived as just a thought, as just an appearance. For other people, perceptually, it's the same, but it feels like there is some resistance in seeing that other people too are just appearances. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it has to do with the fact that uh, this is not enough to deny other people's existence. It feels like other people would like resist this. They would deny this and resist this. But also because when other people appear in the visual field, then there is immediately activation here because there has always been a lot of social anxiety, and so other people's presence immediately activate the body, and it's felt very strongly. And so I don't know if it's because of that or because fear of other people activates something, because like other people cause fear, and so it's hard to deny their presence in some way. And so
Yeah.
it's hard to deny this relationship between subject and object, or subject and subject, in this case, a subject and
Mm,
other.
mm, yeah. It's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not. So who are you denying their existence to?
Other me's, other separate individuals. It's like for the same for the me, but when I saw it for this, there is not that moral dilemma of denying the existence, because I can see it in the direct experience that the me is just appearing in thoughts, and it's just a story being appearing for no reason. But for other people, it's a little bit different, because there is activation in the body, there is anxiety around other people, but also there is this story that it's not right, because it's not up to me to deny other people's existence, like as separate individuals. And I can't. It's hard, obviously, to discuss this with other people, because, like, telling someone,
Yeah.
yeah, but you don't
Yeah.
really exist as a separate
Mm,
individual. they immediately would feel attacked.
Mhm.
And also this anxiety around other people makes them feel more real. And also because even for this subject-object relationship, there's also this other story that appears that if reality is confirmed by multiple individuals separately, like for example, there's an object in a room and multiple people see it and label it in the same way, this is like it's confirming and solidifying this relationship between multiple minds and this object. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
for all these reasons, it feels very solid, this relationship between subjects and
yeah,
objects.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so let's imagine this is what came to mind here, a story. Okay, so let's say you got a room full of people, and on the table in the middle of them is an orange, and everybody gets a turn to say what it is, and everybody says it's an apple, but you say it's an orange.
Mm, mm, mm.
Who's right?
Yeah, that immediately activates something here because like the feeling disagreement between this and other people like triggers some kind of
Yeah,
anxiety.
yeah,
But also, yeah, I can see that in the shapes themselves, in the colors and the shapes, there is no orangeness, so to speak. So there is no, it's all like a matter of shared information, shared culture, and
yeah,
learn something that has been learned, and it's
yeah.
not in the direct experience itself. But
Right.
still, there is this shared story between all the other individuals that say that that is an orange or whatever. They
Yeah.
agree. They all agree. So consider maybe these people are not in the same room simultaneously, but they just enter a room separately, and they all confirm that inside the room there is an orange. That here is it's an even stronger story about there being really an orange because
No, no,
like
no, yeah. So what you like? I'm telling you, I put an apple there, but they all say it's an orange.
mm,
Every one of them. They believe it's an orange.
yeah.
They believe when they bite into it, they'll taste appleness, but they've learned to call it an orange,
Mm.
and you know it as an apple. Same fruit, but their
Because
shared agreement
yeah.
is that it's an orange. And you're not in that shared agreement. What for some reason you don't belong to the same group of people that call it an orange. You're an alien. You've come from another planet, or you've come from another
Mm,
country, or whatever. You're a weirdo. You're just different, right? You know it as an orange. You know it as an apple. They know it as an orange.
mm.
So what? It's just what they're calling it, right?
Okay, this part, yeah, I can see through this. And there is not the part that creates resistance is that this subject-object relationship, it's still there somehow because even thinking
Mm.
that we just call it differently, we just label it differently because of culture. Okay,
Yeah,
I can see
yeah,
through that. No
yeah.
problem with that.
Okay.
But there is still some things, there is still an object in that room that is recognized as an object by everyone. And so there is still this relationship between me and that thing, even if I call it
Right.
orange and everyone else calls it apple.
Yeah,
And there is still
exactly.
a
Right.
relationship between other minds and that object. So it's still there, that relationship.
Same
And it,
thing. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and it solidifies the relationship between me and the object and between me and the other subjects and the other.
So what if I said for you and for everybody else, because your experience of that thing on the table is your experience, there is no object, it's only subject.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. But so if that is just this, because there is no relationship between me and that object, okay. But
Well,
that
let's get
must be
out of
true.
the mystical thing. Forget the mystical thing, right? It's pure logic that shows that what you are experiencing is your experience, and you're experiencing something with shape and color, and your history says it's an apple,
Mm-mm.
and they're experiencing it as shape and color, but their history says it's an orange. But it's
That
irrelevant.
is easier.
That's
That
just a
is
label.
easier.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that must be true also for my experience of other people. And so
Exactly,
that's
exactly.
what triggers a little bit
So
this
you're not
resistance.
experiencing other people.
Okay.
You're only experiencing your interpretation.
Mm.
You're experiencing what you imagine they are.
Yeah,
So
this
it's
is
your
what
experience. So it's
triggers.
only, there's no object. Where's the object? There's only subjective experience. That's all.
This triggers something emotionally because denying the separate existence of other people outside my personal
Okay,
view or my personal
hang on,
experience
hang on. Yeah, okay. So here's the thing.
uh,
You're not going to deny their separate existence in a,
creates, yeah,
in a social situation.
yeah,
You'll play the game that they play.
yeah, yeah. It's
The one
like,
that you learned, yeah.
yeah, it's like I have to play the game they play because otherwise they
Otherwise,
would
there's no
reject
communication.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would feel like rejected maybe
Mm.
if I didn't
But
play their game.
you can be playing a game of chess, and you know that you're playing a game of chess.
Yeah.
You're sitting there.
Yeah, but
You're aware of the feeling of your bum on the chair. You're aware of other people talking. You're aware of whatever goes on at the same time as you're playing chess. So you can play their social game at the same time of knowing that what's really going on is you're reacting to your own experiencing that's happening.
I think it's this is that if I don't play their game and think about them as separate individuals,
Hmm.
they would reject me.
Yeah. So do that. Fine.
Yeah, they would
Yeah.
judge me and reject me, and so I need to conform to their view.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same thing. Yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
thing.
But you're
There's this
you're
need
when
of
you're
being accepted
yeah.
and validated, and so I need to conform to their view
Yeah,
in
but
order
that
to
that
be
doesn't mean you
accepted by
believe
them.
it. It doesn't mean you believe it.
Yeah, but that would feel faking it, maybe,
No.
and so
Believing
not validating myself, my view. It's
ah
it's
yeah, okay.
it's a
Whose
tricky one
view?
because
Whose
yeah,
view are you validating?
like in my direct experience, there is no separate individuals,
Right.
neither here
You
nor
don't need
there.
to tell them that though, do you?
but in order to play their game and being accepted by them, and that is the corrupted part. I need to validate their view,
Yes.
and that's the contraposition, that the contrast, the
Mm. So you're
yeah,
saying
yeah.
that if you validate their position, that there's something fake going on.
Because it's the same story, that this is not enough, so I need to be accepted by other people,
Yeah.
and so
Right.
in order to be accepted, I need to validate their point of view, to accept them,
Yeah.
their point of view. And so if I there is but the direct experience is not the same as their view, and so
No.
there are two different views. Not two different. It's
Yeah.
not two different views. There is only one view, that it's my direct experience here. But this doesn't let me get their approval. Their so yeah,
Oh,
it's like, in
okay.
order
Yeah.
to be true to this, I have to accept that I need to renounce other people's approval.
Which doesn't mean that you're going to get their disapproval. It just means you're not trying to get their approval.
Yeah, but if I am true to myself, there is this story that other people would reject me because I would have to
Right.
deny their separate
So
existence as
what
individuals.
might need to happen for you to not relate to that story like it was true? We're not saying it's untrue, but we're saying
I
you
would
don't.
have to
Yeah.
be true to myself and so express myself freely. But the
Do you?
story
Would you
says
have
that
to
if I
express it?
would, yeah, I would need to be true. I would just need to be this, like,
Yeah.
without thinking about other people's ideas and beliefs. And
Yeah.
but by doing this, I would not be accepted by other people, because
Well,
this
maybe,
view
maybe
would
not.
contrast
Yeah.
with
I
their
don't know
beliefs.
about that. Yeah.
Like, it's common sense, like, just maybe I don't have to talk about this with other people, but
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
the moment I treat the moment I treat other people like separate individuals, and so I just go along with their belief of being separate individuals. It's like I'm not being true to this direct experience.
Oh. Okay. That's the critical point, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like you're not being true to yourself. So you've got some story that you
Uh,
have to express what you know as truth
hmm.
in order to be genuine.
It's just that it's scary, because it's like I could slip every moment, and like uh, deny other people's beliefs, and uh, cause their reaction, and so create contrast, create disagreement, create. It's like this fear of expressing myself freely, because there has always been like some social anxiety, and so these always tried to conform or not disagree too much with other people's beliefs, in order to not is
Yeah.
always try to be in good terms with everyone, in order not to be attacked,
Yeah. You're a
and so
chameleon. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, a little bit, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, definitely.
The people pleasing chameleon.
Mm, I mean. I like to express my ideas and opinions, but not too much, not to the point of creating turbulence and disagreement and like
Mm, mm.
open disagreement. So yeah, I always like discussing stuff, but always trying not to do it too much in order
Yeah, yeah, me too. I'm a bit like
to
that. Yeah.
break
Mm,
relationships or to break friendships or
mm.
to openly argue.
My wife and I went out to tea last night with a group that we go out some Friday nights, right? And last night we went out, and there was, I think, about 16 people there, lots of couples, older people mostly. Probably none of them have a view of the world that I have. Not one of them. They're not even aligned with my views politically. They all have, some are religious. Some believe in a God up there they pray to on a regular basis. Some believe they're going to hell because they've been naughty. Do you think not one of them would know about awakening, let alone about me being awake? Not one. I don't announce it. I don't say things, but neither am I untrue to the way I feel about things. So I talk to them about rubbish. We talk about football. We talk about what food we eat. We talk about what absolute rubbish, most of it. And I have a good time. I'm relating to them from where they come from. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. Sometimes I get the opportunity to slip in a question that they might think is a bit weird, but seems appropriate. I do that. I rather like doing that actually. I'm kind of provocateur. I like to poke, yeah, in some ways, things like that. They just see me as a bit weird. They don't know about the way I see the world or the way I experience it. And you know what? I don't know the way they do either. I know some things that they talk about, but that's all. I have no idea what really goes on for them. And that's fine. We have a good time together. So what I'm saying to you is you can be true to yourself, even if it's only in your thoughts. You don't need to say it out loud, and you certainly don't need to beg for anybody's approval. Some people are going to like you and some people are not going to like you. That's the way the world works. And some people will be totally agnostic. They don't care. They're neither here nor there. And the ones that don't like you, they don't like what they think you are or what they think you believe in. It's not even about you. It's about what they think. And they project it onto you and say, well, we don't like you. We don't like him. He's whatever. And the ones who do like you, exactly the same. They project their ideas of who you are and what you're about, and they go, well, we like him, but it's just their ideas, their projection. They've got no idea about you, and you've got no idea about them. And yet you can have a good time together. If you stay in the now, you're talking about what comes up. You're not you're not projecting stories into the future or the past with any great certainty. If it happens, it happens, but it's not a big deal. You don't have to agree with somebody to be liked, and you don't get disliked if you disagree with them, unless you confront them aggressive way. Well, that's a different thing, but you don't have to. So there is a skill here. There is a learning that takes place. And you've heard me say a few times, what if I try to remember conversations that I had last night, I hardly remember anything. I can remember a couple of things that happened. I We were at a local club having tea, and behind the person opposite me was a TV screen, and there was a football game playing on the TV screen, and the person opposite me likes football. I don't know. I don't have much idea about it at all, and I saw them kick a football, and they put it up on this plastic thing to kick it. They sat the football on the thing. Turns out it's called a tee, the same as in golf. And, and that they kick it with some kick it straight on and some kick it with the side of their foot. I thought, oh, that was really interesting. And some people can make the ball go around in a corner and other people can make it go straight. And they're pretty clever. And we talked about that. It was it wasn't in the past or the future. It wasn't about what I think is good or right or what they think is wrong or stupid. None of that came up. It was just talking about what was in front of us. And that was a nice connection.
Yeah, I try to do that because maybe I gave the wrong impression that I'm always trying to talk about the stuff, non-duality to like
Yeah, I didn't take it that way,
volleyball,
but
but it's
yeah.
not that. It's that it feels like it's a thin line between expressing what appears here in order to like create a connection because this wants to relate to the other
Mm,
person
mm.
and not creating like disagreement or turbulence. And this lately has been feeling a little bit of an alien because it's here too. The feeling that uh, I have ideas, many of these sensation and ideas and things and stories appearing here are different from almost everybody else because there is not a lot of people that I bump
Mm.
into that
Yeah,
share
sure.
these ideas about
Yeah, me too.
me
Yeah.
individuals and stuff. And so there's this thin line between being true to this and
Hey, wait a
uh,
minute. Wait a minute. What do you mean true to this? What is this you're being true to?
that if something appears here,
Yeah,
it can be expressed freely
yeah.
without fearing judgment or fearing uh, that I would just make the other people uncomfortable
Sure. Yeah, 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 yeah.
or even just out of kindness that because uh, if I express some of these ideas the other people might
I
feel
get that.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But but you're saying what I want you to see is that you're identifying as a person who has a responsibility.
Mm.
And well, show me that person.
it's it's like I'm in between different levels because on a
Yeah,
level I know that it's really not a choice, that it's really not, it's just what appears.
yeah. Yet there
other
is this
people make this feel like it's still an individual. There's
yeah,
this
okay.
relationship between
That's the key point, isn't
this
it?
and that
Yeah.
that makes this feel still as a separate individual. But the moment I look at the direct experience, there's none of that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
still, the other person, because
Right.
it's all about the other person making this feel separated and like subject to judgment and subject to being hurt or subject to being uh, judged, hurt, and everything
Yeah.
else. So the moment someone else appears and is recognized as another being individual, this relationship appears and the
Mm.
body activates, and it's like
Okay,
uh
okay, okay. All right.
yeah.
So let's ask everybody here. Help me, please. David is not listening to me. He's not hearing what I'm saying, and maybe I'm not very clear. I don't know. Help me, please. Somebody else, come on in and tell me what can we tell David that might change his experience? Oh, nobody's got anything to say. Well, you're fucked. You're
I've
stuck
got,
with
I've
it.
got,
Yeah.
I've got, I've got something. Uh,
Yes, please.
the work that has helped me the most with that kind of fear of rejection, has been the work of Byron Katie. Don't know if that, and
Yeah, I'm reading her book right now. Yeah.
yeah, the one that's I Need Your Love, Is It True? Is brilliant for this kind of stuff. And
Okay.
also I have a thing that I use, which is rejection is a word describing a habitual movement of sensations, images, and words.
Hmm. Yeah, that is true. That is true. It's still an appearance, a contraction in the body, and stories. Yeah.
And you don't know if someone's ever rejected you. They might secretly be in love with you, but be really mean to you.
Hmm. Yeah.
You don't know. And I
Yeah, yeah.
found
Yeah.
I really relate to what you're saying, David, and I appreciate how kind of uh detailed you get with it. And I would say that in my experience, the more present I am, the more connection isn't about words. And it's like there's just a feeling of warmth. And I'll sometimes just look at people and just like tell them I love them, and not to say that I'm in like some exalted state, but I find that the less words there are, the more naturally things flow. And it doesn't matter then as much what they think of me because I just love them.
Mm,
Love
yeah,
felt.
that is harder to accept because there's always been this concern about this not being heard,
Yeah.
and so it's hard. But yeah, I can see that. I can see that it's about more about energy than words, because
Yeah.
words they just come out, and but there's this energy, and that words not always represent the energy. There might be like a good energy even if there is a tension in words or vice versa.
So let me ask you this, David. Whose approval are you really seeking?
everyone's approval. It doesn't matter who's on the
All
other
right.
side.
What about your father or your mother? Your father, most
Yeah,
likely.
yeah, yeah. My father,
Yeah.
obviously, obviously.
And then we spend the rest of our life getting everybody's approval, but we really want his approval.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's also a matter of getting love
Mm.
through
Well, that's more likely
through.
mum, isn't it? We want dad's approval, but we want mum's love.
Mm,
Maybe. I'm only guessing. I don't know.
it's like approval and love are the same thing here. They
Oh,
are not really
okay.
not that different. It's like
Oh, well, they are
the
a lot
only,
different. But
yeah,
yeah, yeah. But most of what we used to call love is conditional love, which is approval.
yeah,
You're only going to get that love if you behave in a certain way, if you comply somehow. And you never worked
yeah.
out how to do that, did you? You can't do it because it's not really like that. Yeah.
I can clearly see that it's like a second quality love, like because it's like conditional love, and so it's really it's that there's this it's desperate to
Mm,
get love. It's so desperate to get love that it can
yeah.
also accept like this second hand love or inferior
Yeah.
quality love. That it's conditioned,
Yeah.
and
But you know,
so.
but that you could never, even no matter how much love you got, that would never fulfill that.
No, no, no.
Mm,
It's crazy because it's so conditioned to do that, to get this love, and this love, it's the same as being approved. And I can see now through all of this, but it's still going on.
hmm
This conditioning, this movement of trying to conform to other people's view in order to get this conditioned love, and this conditioned love will never feel this need, will never
mm.
make this need disappear, and so, but it's still there. It's a circus, but it's still going
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah. And it will keep going on until what comes to mind for you?
until this reaction in the body, this contraction doesn't start to slowly fade
Right.
out and
That's good.
appear
That's
less
good.
and less.
And this reaction in the body doesn't come from other people. It comes from what you think. It comes from
Hmm,
your
hmm,
interpretation, right?
hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that interpretation happens because what do you think?
Because of all this conditioning that it's here, of these stories and
Mm,
beliefs that are here. That's why I'm trying so desperately to see
mm.
through them, and to unwind them, and to see through
So
all
the
of
an
this.
the answer to this dilemma is not to get love, because even if you got it, it wouldn't do the job, right? It's not to get love. It's to make that desperate need for love a
Yeah,
non-issue. We just want it to just not be an issue.
yeah, yeah,
But when we make connection with other people, when we have a pleasant experience, it's nice.
Mhm.
But this need for love is more a survival issue than looking for a pleasant experience. But what's it a survival issue for? It's not a survival of the body, is it?
It's not the pleasantness because I can get the pleasantness just by talking about
Mm,
whatever the pleasantness of the
yeah.
interaction. But to get in love, yeah, you're right. It's more about it's it's so rooted inside this that it's a matter for this. It's a matter of survival. Of it's an instinct, like
Yeah,
to
survival
look
of,
for
come
that love.
right. It's a survival of the way you see yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in this specific view that uh, comes out of this conditioning of this body and
Mm,
this mind. The need for love is central, and
mm,
it's what uh, makes it move. What is central. Yeah, but it's because of this specific view of the world. Yeah,
mm.
it's a consequence.
And
It's a
that's
I can see it.
specific.
It's clear. It's a consequence of how these stories are,
Yes.
and it's a
So,
consequence of the beliefs that are here. It's a consequence
yeah.
of how this body is conditioned, and there are habits, and this body seems to
Mm,
respond to habits and triggers and circumstances. It's all this big bundle, and
yeah. So what if this whole big bundle sits on one story, and that story is the story of David? All of
yeah,
those
yeah,
other
yeah.
things sit on top of that story.
I can see that it's not me. It's not me. It's just a story.
Hmm.
But still, the point of contact, it's the body. As I said before,
Okay, yeah. So you've
it,
got
it
you've got stories
yeah.
about yourself that you're not seeing as a story, you're seeing it as reality.
Uh, at this point, I don't see. I'm not sure. There are lots of stories still that appear, but
Mm,
there's also the realization that in the direct experience, there's none of that.
yeah.
That these
So
stories
so
are just like
listen,
missing the mark. Uh,
this is an important one that you can see direct experience has the purpose of recognizing that which is story, that which
mm,
is not direct experience. So the whole point of being able to have a direct experience, and you only need one of them once to recognize that it's different from stories about whatever you're experiencing. And once you see those, it's not a case of having direct experience go on all the time. It is very much a case of recognizing that we take a lot of stories to be actual. to be real, and we relate to them as if they were true. And that's where our problems come from.
Mm.
And the story that you've got, that all the other stories are sitting on top of, is that there's still a person in there running the show. Yet you say you know there's not. All right? Now that's not a contradiction. It's just a different aspect of the same thing. In your direct experience, you can't find a self. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's true. There is no. It's just thought stuff and
Right. But
feelings in the body.
but there is still the experience in your direct experience of feeling concerned about disapproval.
It's like it's going on because of inertia. The ball is
Yes,
still rolling.
yes, exactly.
I
Yeah,
can see
the opposite
what
of
is
inertia,
happening, but it's
it's
still
momentum.
happening
Yeah,
because it goes on by inertia.
yeah, by momentum.
Yeah, by momentum. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but right, yeah, exactly right, and that's the habit. That's for sure. Yeah. So what is a practical thing to do is not to stop that. You can't stop it from happening. It's going to happen until momentum runs out, and then it
Mm.
comes to a halt. And that's a beautiful analogy. That's the way it works, right? Because
It's slowing
habit is
down. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
habit
it
is
has been
big. Yeah,
slowing down in the
yeah,
since
right, right. So
the,
why are you so
the
impatient?
shift began.
You want it now. Of course you do. That's natural, but it's not logical that you can have it all now. You just have to
Yeah,
stay on the train until it runs to a stop. And it
yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah.
It will. Yeah. But interesting stuff while it goes on. It is quite interesting. You know,
Yeah,
you
there
can
is
you can
also a bit of
yeah.
a hurry here to get to the this
Yeah,
individual is still on a mission. It's still
that's right. We all
on a
want it
quest
now. We want it now, now, now.
to make it
Yeah.
stop. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
See, I was the same. I'm a people pleasing chameleon that wants approval for
It's
sure, you know.
it's always the
And it's
same
all my
shit,
father's
really.
fault. There you go. It's all my father's fault. He just never gave me approval, so I had to get it from everybody that I came in contact with, and I never stopped until it did. I still like approval. It still feels good when it happens, but it's not necessary.
Mm.
It's just yeah. And if somebody approves or disapproves, I recognize very quickly that what they're approving or disapproving of is what they think I am. It says nothing about me. I don't need to take it personally.
Yeah, yeah. That is very
Yeah.
clear. It's just that this conditioning is still going on by
Yes.
itself.
Yeah. And it'll get less and less frequent. An interesting one in that, in my experience, is the intensity doesn't fade. Sometimes it's more intense. And I suspect that's simply because there's not the filters active as they used to be. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe it's just because the body is tired or it's
Yeah,
hungry
well,
or
that's
it's
right. Why bother? Yeah,
too
yeah,
hot outside. Yeah.
yeah. But it does, and it will take a while. It'll take years, in fact. And whether it ever entirely comes to a stop, I don't know. But things still happen here. So, and it's only been 15 years for me. So I don't know. How long has it been for you?
Yeah, a few months. So
Yeah. Well, be patient. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's
Thank
a
you so
tricky one,
much,
isn't it?
man.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because it's like being in between words because it's so
yeah,
recent. Like just a few months
yeah,
ago, I was still into all these stories and still
yeah.
following
And
them.
and there is that thing that we have to get a bit good at, and that is living in two worlds. And one world most of the time is internal, and the other world
Mm,
is obviously more external, or it seems to be at least.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's interesting. Thank you so much, Vince.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
I was actually gonna see if I could go next if anybody minds. Everybody's okay with that? Or if anybody has any, because I have to go in 45 minutes.
You go for it, Maria. That's fine.
Thank you. I just uh I just kind of wanted to bring into here and now the fact that like I'm not sleeping and like a few weeks ago maybe a week and a half ago we had I was like really really low and then kind of felt a little bit better and then uh it just kind of keeps happening and it's just this very very highly activated state and really reminds me of a time I went through maybe 7 years ago where I was like quite I was hospitalized for like psychosis and um uh like really really bad depression and that's how that this is started in the same way. It was the same sensations and the same feelings and so when it happened again maybe 2 weeks ago that I just completely stopped sleeping and was in these massive waves of fear. uh I just really freaked out and yeah and I don't I'm a different person now. Like it's been 7 years and I've done a lot of honest looking at my thoughts and hours and hours and hours of inquiry, which has actually served me really well and made me much more resilient and able to actually be present. But I guess last night, it happening again with sleep medication now, and then just the kind of barrage of thoughts that come that are just really so um, frightening. But I actually managed to question two of them. One of them was death is scary. I looked at that thought, and then the other thought was this is unbearable. And so the fact that I kind of got a foot in the door between fully kind of drowning in it, that's quite profound. Um,
Would Katie help you with those ones?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what comes to mind is that these things have do can they do have a physiological effect. So when we're feeling fear, obviously our whole body is flooded with particular hormones,
Yeah.
uh, and so on. And so who knows just why, what's going on in the body that you don't feel sleepy or you don't feel tired or you can't sleep. You may feel tired or sleepy, but you can't sleep. Yeah.
And
Um,
it's more than not being able to sleep. It's like sitting in kind of like abject terror. Like yesterday, I just had to spend the whole night watching like Adyashanti videos to not go into the kind
yes.
of,
Yeah.
and then this morning the thoughts were just so low that I had to call a friend kind of
Yeah.
to feel
Yeah.
safe. And she,
I'm so pleased to hear that you've got somebody you can talk to in those times. And
yeah, no, no,
that's
I
yeah.
have lots of people I can talk to. So that's great. I guess it's just like, and I'm speaking to my psychiatrist. I've got some medication that will maybe help a little bit. So I'm doing, practical things to also help my physiology. I'm trying to eat well. I'm spending some time in the sun every, like I'm doing my qigong. I'm taking
Yeah. Good. Good. Yeah.
care of myself. Yeah, but I guess I just I don't know how to get out of it.
Mm,
And I don't know if it's just a matter of patience. Uh, and I'm just really scared.
mm. It sounds pretty scary. Yeah. And that not knowing how to get out of it, that feeling of helplessness is a big one too, isn't it? Yeah.
I'd say that's the main one because I've had phases where well, obviously I had that phase where everything I tried, like nothing worked. It felt like it was more of like a kind of awakening gone wrong than anything else,
Mm,
where it was like too much insight and not enough kind of body embodiment.
mm,
And yeah, yeah. And I think today was one of the first days that I had a night like that, but I didn't, and it was this morning, it wasn't great, but I was able to inquire for 2 hours and I'm able to be on this call and like even contribute.
mm.
So I don't know, and I definitely don't want to put it in a trajectory where like now I'm getting better, and because then it's just a big mess. But
Mm.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of dying a little bit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe that's true. Maybe you are dying, but not physically as much as psychically. That the if is it that the I is dying, that the sense of self is dying, could be that stuff. Yeah.
I have the feeling it is, and I have the feeling that last time I didn't have the capacity or the resilience to deal with it, and this time
Mm.
I'm on by a thread. But the fact, yeah, and I'm just afraid I'm just gonna kind of get stuck here for the rest of my life, if I'm honest. Yeah.
Yeah, that's unlikely. But yeah, well, and I'm imagining that there's also a big fear that you could end up back in a psychiatric ward or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much psychotic, but more if I get really depressed.
Mm,
And I just like I've had moments in the last week where I've been like I need to go somewhere. I can't be with this.
mm.
Um so I think it is about learning that I can be with this.
Yeah, yeah, well, that's a tricky one too, because there is that, like that self-awareness is that you may find or and what I don't know how to say this. Um, you've got to know when to ask for the right kind of help. Right?
Yeah, I know. And that's where I'm having a little bit of trouble because I've got my psychiatrist on board. I've
Mm.
got speaking to my therapist in half an hour. Uh,
Well, that should give you a sense of safety, a sense of lifeline, possibly to have that. If you've got that right relationship with your psychiatrist, then as long as you keep them up with what's going on for you,
well,
you can abandon yourself to whatever happens. But of course, this whole thing comes from holding on, doesn't it?
yeah,
Trying to,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like and with the sleep thing especially because there's just so much talk on like it being really bad to not sleep and how, so there's this kind of fear that if I don't start sleeping, I'm just the part of it is just going to get worse and worse. But yeah, it's definitely like, and I don't know how to, because if I'm honest, like I've done a lot of inquiry into thoughts and beliefs, but I struggle with no self,
Mhm.
if I'm honest. And I feel like it's kind of, I'm at this tipping point. I did full disclosure, I did an MDMA assisted therapy session on Wednesday,
Mhm.
my therapist, which was
Yeah, yeah.
and we went into the trauma of the last experience that I had, and I didn't expect it to be so intense and so kind of shamanic almost, like it
Mhm.
was.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I also had these big openings where I felt kind of I mean, I don't want to talk about it too much because I haven't really integrated it yet, but there were also experiences of a feeling of kind of vast universal love. And so it's it's not like, yeah, but when everyone talks about having seen through the self, there's a real resistance to that.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Hard to know what you mean by that for me. I mean, when you say there's a resistance to it, is it like is that resistance to accepting what you see already, or is it resistance to go along with what you see, or what do you mean there's a resistance to it?
Um, I don't want to not exist.
Ah, right, big one.
Yeah.
When you're having that MDA, whatever, MMDA, when you had that experience, I would imagine that you had experiences of no self,
Yes.
but you weren't thinking, oh, there's no self here. You had experience of universality, if you like. You had experiences of this not being a source of things in yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So see the whole thing with no self is that it's
Don't
stupid.
know.
It's totally
Yeah.
stupid, because how can you find what's not there? How can you find no self? You can't.
Right. Yeah, yes, that's good to hear. And also like the experiences that I've had even doing inquiry, it's not scary when the thoughts drop away. It's so lovely.
Yeah. And you would call that an experience of not having a self running the show, right? You might shorten that to say an experience of no self, but kind of a bit of a stupid thing, really, because you're
Yeah.
not even thinking about it when it's happened. It's only later when you describe it that you would call an experience of no self. But if you're having
Yeah.
an experience of no self, you're not thinking about no self.
No, that's
There
the whole
just
point.
there just isn't a self there running the show.
It's true. And so the kind of idea that it's unsafe or scary is just the mind, an afterthought from the mind.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That
And
like,
there's a transition from, see, a person that's fully invested in a self has no idea that that's going on. They don't go, well, I'm a self. They just react to a self like it's there. And so a lot of their experience can be described as coming from the center of a
mm,
self. Yeah.
yeah.
But they don't think about a self when they're doing that. Just as when there's no self, they don't think about that.
Mm,
And so you could talk about the death of an eye, but that doesn't make sense either because there was never an eye there to die. So we can
yeah.
talk about the death of a sense of an eye. Well, that's not scary. That's just believing that there's an eye because of what we're experiencing. And when that drops away, it's a non-event. It's just not there. There's nothing there.
Yeah, and see when you say that there's a real longing for that experience and just like a some thoughts around being out of control or and especially with this what's happening right now that I'll just like
Yeah.
well again
So
or yeah, get really depressed and
yeah.
yeah.
So it's exactly the same thing with the one of control, being out of control or a loss of control. You never had control in the first place. You only ever had an illusion of control.
Yeah.
So again,
Okay.
when it's not there, it's a non-event.
That's yeah, I think there's still a very strong belief here that
Yeah,
there
you
is
have to
control
do it. Yeah, yeah.
because so much of my when I do my inquiry and when I do my practices, I have those experiences, and when I don't do them, I don't have those experiences.
Mm,
Like it's do the practices, then I feel ah, oof.
yeah, yeah.
So that yeah, and um, I just feel yeah, like
Okay, so look, here's some homework for you that I think would be valuable for you. Recognize that the language that you use actually shapes your experience. So take it on as a job to do to correct the way you describe things to make it more actual.
right.
So, for example, when you say, I'm experiencing whatever, dot, dot, dot,
Yeah.
you would change that to, this experience is happening.
Hmm. Right.
So what we do when we do that kind of reframe
Yeah.
is we take out the ownership
Yeah.
aspect of it, and therefore we haven't got an I who owns it. So you can intellectually go, I know there's no self, and then you look at what you just said. I know there's no self. Who knows?
Right. And
Yeah.
that's the place where there's like a very there's a felt sense of I, to be honest.
Yes. Now, that's fine. A felt sense of self is
Yeah.
perfectly fine. It's okay, right?
Okay.
That's going to be there until it's not. That's
Okay.
that's that's what we were talking about with David earlier on, and that's going to fade out over time when it doesn't get fed. But while ever we keep feeding it, it'll keep being there.
Okay. So so even in the kind of experience that I'm going through now, which is uh activated,
Hmm.
I would say instead of saying I'm not sleeping, I'd be like sleep or
No, no,
no,
you would say awakeness is here.
yeah, awakeness is here. Yeah.
Yeah. So you again so there's another aspect to the language thing. We talk about the absence of something
Right.
like it's something when
Yeah.
it's so not sleeping, right? That turns a concept into a thing.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as not sleeping. Right.
Right.
It's a way of it's a commonly used, of course, in society, but it's a way of saying I stayed awake.
Yeah. The body. Yeah.
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 And you can kind of, it kind of brings a smile to my face about that because who would say I'm awake? Right now, everybody says I'm awake. You never say it, do you? You don't ever say that, except maybe when you're coming out of sleep or something. But essentially in the middle of the day, nobody's going to blurt out suddenly, I'm awake. I mean, I'm not asleep. I must be awake. You don't even think about it. It's a non-event.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
when we burrow down a little bit, get into the details of this, it's not even to say awake or asleep because that's very close. Well, that's conceptual, it's a story.
Yeah.
What there is a degree of energy, a degree of something going on in the body that you can describe.
Yeah. So just get re like as in like tingling in the chest and
Yes. Now, then there's this other thing that if I encourage you to consider whatever you are experiencing to be like the weather. It's just turned up.
that's a
So
hard
there
one.
is this tingling in the chest.
Yeah.
Right now, you can get more direct than that even and go tingling here.
Okay.
So we're not even using the label of chest. We're just looking at it now. So if you were to
Okay.
use getting into the body as a way of getting out of the thought loops that go on, which is a good technique, it's a very good technique to get out of those thought loops,
Yeah.
is you look at your sensations beyond labels. You can't go to sleep yet. Don't go to sleep. You've got an appointment in a little while.
Don't worry.
Yeah. So you can yawn, but don't go to sleep. Right. So when you look at that tingling, you don't stop at the word at the description of tingling here. So you go from tingling in the chest to tingling here to, oh, what does this tingling feel like? What is the sensation? Just where in the chest is it?
Yeah.
What is it moving? Is it changing shape and size? Is it fluctuating? Is it hot or cold? Is it what, you just look for the details in the sensation. Immerse yourself, swim in the sensation, and
Yeah.
give it color,
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
it texture, give it movement. Really get into it. And by the time you've got into that, you're not in your head anymore. You're out of your head.
Yeah.
It's a great technique. It really works. It works well to do that.
Yeah. I'm doing some somatic experiencing with a therapist next week as well, which is
Mm.
basically,
Yeah, basically the same thing. Yeah, yeah.
but it's also just, I think the thing that makes it a little bit hard to kind of just swim in it is that it feels so dangerous.
Mm.
Like it feels,
Can I ask a question? Can I
Yeah.
ask you a
please.
question? Um, did you have like some childhood trauma and stuff that hasn't been resolved or dealt with in some ways that you know of?
Um, well, the MDMA therapy last week was meant to look at some of that stuff, and then the somatic experiencing hopefully will as well. But there
Yeah,
isn't any there. I'm very sensitive, so there was some trauma in just in
right.
living, I think,
Yeah,
but not like
right.
um. But as ever since I was a child, I've had issues sleeping, and I've been anxious.
Not
So
feeling safe, maybe. Not
yeah,
feeling safe. Yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, I had a very similar experience my whole life, and I wasn't aware of any details until I was an adult. And the details don't matter. But what did matter was that I had to mother these little parts, these younger parts of me that didn't feel safe. So it was a matter of holding myself and imagining that I'm holding a two, three, four, however old, it felt, and saying, you're safe right here, right now. I'm a grown up. I've got you. Look outside. We live in Toronto. All those people that were around back when we were little are gone, dead, finished, over with. I'm safe. I'm absolutely safe. Because until all parts of me felt
mm,
safe, I didn't feel safe. And
yeah,
there was a challenge there for me to go to sleep. So, I mean, I don't know if that's your situation, but that certainly is what helped me. And Vince has, Vince, you sent me a meditation about that, about just really taking care of, wherever I feel unsafe, reminding myself that actually I am safe, even though I'm terrified when I
right,
really look around. But if there's a 2-year-old who doesn't feel safe, how is she going to know that she's not safe? Because she always has been unsafe. But
right,
I'm safe, right? As an adult, I'm safe. So yeah, I mean, I did, therapy with, I did the IFS method and stuff like that. That was a way to make it not quite so personal. So it wasn't, I don't feel safe. It was, there's a younger part of me that doesn't feel safe and doesn't know what safety feels like, but I
yeah,
do. So I can love her and take care of her and hold her and, kind of rock myself to sleep. And I had to practice that over and over and over. So I don't know
thank
if
you.
that'll help, but it's worth a try.
Yeah, that's helpful. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to learn. It's I think there's just the thing that I keep coming up against is that there's a feeling of like, yeah, I guess that just like life and the world isn't safe.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that that like I'm um yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
when I first spoke with Todd and Pernilla about that, feeling that, I wasn't safe and whatever had happened to me was my fault, et cetera, all the blame and everything. They said, you have to become a safe person that you can trust before you can get rid of a self. Like, because for a little kid to say I'm not a person is crazy. We have to become a person in order to become an adult. And then once we're an adult and we're safe and we've got things together, then we can start to let go of it. but I
Yeah.
had to become a safe person for all of me before I could
Yeah.
Mm.
I could start practicing, and inquiring into where is this self? Because you can't ask a 2 or 3-year-old to give up control. That's all they have.
Mm.
That's
If
a
they're
really
parents,
that's really helpful. And I think that's kind of where the all that stuff that happened 8 years ago came from, was this like dismantling way too quickly without that kind of inherent feeling of safety. And yeah,
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 Mm. So same as what we were going on about with being awake now, waking up. So you don't make that declaration because it's a non-issue. You are awake, you're not asleep. Right. Same thing with safety. There is no such thing as safety,
yeah,
right? It's not a thing, is what I'm saying. It's not a
yeah,
thing, right? But the opposite of that is a thing,
yeah,
right? That being scared, that fear, that whatever comes up that you want to go away, so that
yeah,
you can then use the story of safety to describe its absence. But
yeah,
really, safety is a non-event, it's a non-thing, but very important to feel, not the opposite of a safety. You
yeah,
don't want to feel threatened. You don't want to feel unsafe. You don't want to feel insecure. All of those things that are the opposite of safety. When they're gone, you don't think about being safe.
yeah,
mhm,
You only use that story to describe it when you look back on it, or when you look forward and imagining it, that maybe one day I'll feel safe. Well, it's a story about, but it's actually not a thing.
yeah,
right,
And then when you start looking at what is here, so again with the self thing, look at what is here, not what's not there. And what is
okay,
here is a feeling of being threatened,
yeah, yes, oh, brilliant, okay. So look at
whatever.
what is,
Yeah.
and
And as
and so
soon as
yeah,
you do that, you've got something to look at. You can find
yeah,
nothing when you're looking for feeling safe. There's nothing there.
right,
exactly.
right,
Exactly.
right, right, right. So it's kind of getting lovingly as kind of close to the feeling of being threatened
Yeah,
to
Yep.
for what it is, I guess.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
as soon as you do that, you start to realize that it's the Byron Katie thing again. Do I, what, where's the threat?
Hmm.
If you look around, you can see nothing outside of you that suggests a threat, yet you're feeling it. And it's
Yes.
real. We're not saying it's not real. We're just saying, okay, isn't it that interesting? I wonder where it comes from. What,
yeah,
what stimulated this feeling of being threatened?
yeah,
And as soon
Yeah.
as we go looking for those things, we don't find much usually.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay. I'm writing that down. But then so yeah, I mean what I find then is a lot of thoughts about the past when
Yes.
I simulate this feeling of feeling threatened. It's like then it's kind of like it's not safe, like the world is scary and like this
Sure.
kind of
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess it's just about kind of just there's like almost freezing those thoughts, which is why I think my inquiry was so lovely today, because it was like I finally was able to just hone in on a few of the thoughts that were underlying the threat and then
Yes.
into their validity. And I guess the other into that is sitting with the sensations as sensations, and that kind of
Yes.
combination dismantle all that stuff a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. 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 Because I mean, it could also be linked to hormones. It could also be linked to, you
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely. All of that comes in. Yeah.
yeah,
So we
kind of,
can never say it's purely psychological or purely physical.
no, No.
They always
I just
intermingle. Yeah.
I want to just jump in and say something really quick because it seems very important for me just to tell you how much I love you. Just I can honestly just say there's just nothing but love and support. Um, None of the details of what I experienced ever matter here, but you're reflecting so much. But I want to point out a couple of things. You have created such a beautiful support system with all of the things that you're open to and trying, and the fact that you are so present with what the process is and going on. And you've created a beautiful support network just by being here in these meetings and sharing so much with all of us. And I totally cannot. This is the one thing that I want you to know, because when you speak it, I remember it and feel it, and so I'm so aware of how deeply you're feeling some of that, especially the terror that you talk about in that feeling. But so I want you to know that you know it, you're that's really you're just really in a perfect place. That's really all I can say. And that you are loved very much and supported very much. And so many things are pointing you in the right direction. So from my perspective, you're exactly where you're supposed to be in a beautiful womb. And even though it feels terrifying, you're allowing yourself to experience that and feel that and to share that. And um, I don't suppose you know how valuable that is. And it is. And it's absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. Beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you, Pam. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. It's like these little points of light in these meetings and with the therapists where it's kind of that contact um does seem to like wordlessly do something in terms of dismantling the threat as well, I would say.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
This too shall pass.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you got it. You're going there now because you've opened the door, right? You can't go back. That's the amazing thing about it. As soon as we say, I'm tired of feeling scared, then the door opens and the fear has no place to
Yeah.
go but to dissolve. It may take a while, it'll take as long as it takes, but it does go away because you've
And
called
this
it.
and there's this amazing thing, when you stroke the cat, you're getting something amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think and I have to go in a couple minutes, but um the thoughts that feel the most difficult are the ones that say like I can't go on like this, like I can't go on. I and yeah, so maybe those are worth spending some time
Mm.
with.
Absolutely, absolutely, because they don't make any sense, do they? Because you do go on.
Yeah. Yeah, and also like my days might look really weird right now and I'm not very functional, but that's a state. Like
Mm.
it's like this expectation that I'm supposed to feel full of like vitality and groundedness when I'm not. It's that's so
Yeah,
painful.
yeah. So
Yeah.
what of a night time when you're not sleeping? Are you in bed or are
Yeah.
you up with the light on?
I have a candle on, and last night was the first night I had like quite a sedative pill that I was taking and I wasn't sleeping, but at least I was calm. And I just listened to, as I said, like Adyashanti videos and Angelo DeLulo videos and just um yeah, it wasn't pleasant, but I didn't go into that like, oh my God, where I have to like call someone and have them on the phone with me. Like that wasn't
Mm, mm,
um yeah, and it's like today I feel weird and I'm not hungry and but I'm surviving.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look pretty
Look at
healthy.
Pernilla. Look at Pernilla's awakening course, especially the second and the third fetter, because she talks a lot about being a woman and having stuff in the background that we're completely unaware of that cause us to feel terrified.
Oh yeah.
And not only women, but in our society today, a lot of women have.
You'll find Penilla on YouTube with the Awakening curriculum.
Yeah, I've watched all those videos actually.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
I love
she's got a lot of them.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's brilliant. I really yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, it just is what it is. And it's not even like I'm gonna get through it. It's like, am I okay right now? That's it. I'm just hour
Mm.
to hour how I'm living. And that's kind of how I think I should live anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah. Not even hour to hour. You can bring it back to minute and second to
Yeah.
second, and then
Yeah.
this, and then
Yeah.
this. Yeah,
Yeah. And it's really good to hear that kind of permission from you guys as well, that it's like, okay, like that's all I'm capable of right now. I feel really weird and I'm there's a lot of suffering in the body, or at least that's what it feels like. And here I
yeah,
am.
yeah. And maybe what you're going through is an experience of ego death, if you like, or the death of an eye or whatever. So it's possible that that's what it is, and
Yeah.
and and then what we've got is this resistance to annihilation. Well, that's pretty logical, isn't it? That's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. And then just
Yeah.
to hang out with that, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah. Minute to
Yeah.
minute.
We are
Oof.
all rooting for you, and you are
Thanks,
safe
guys.
right now, here in this moment. There might be activation in the body, there might be some stories about not being safe, but these are just stories. You are safe here right now in this moment,
Thanks, guys.
and whatever appears, but you are safe.
Thanks. I gotta go to my next therapy. So I really appreciate
Thank
everyone
you,
here.
Maria. Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of the meeting. Thank you.
Hmm.
Just a quick thing that I'd like to share about my cat, because she has three legs, so she misses one leg. But it always makes me think it's like a pointer that she gives me, that she only has three legs, but she doesn't know it. So there is no suffering related to that from her
Yeah,
point of view.
yeah,
She just goes around with like three legs and she moves a little bit. She's a little bit clumsy in moving around, but she doesn't know it. It's not a problem for her.
yeah.
Mm.
I appreciated your story today, Vince. It was great.
Yeah. You'll have to
Really.
remind me what one was today. What story came out today?
It was about it's just happening. Rain is just raining, right? I mean, the sky is just gray right now. That's all. It's like there's no inherent deep meaning or reason, and I don't have anything to do with it, and I'm not make just that it just is what it is. And in it, I don't remember which, which one of the four people, because it's always the same four people that are always hanging out. And one of them was trying to make it all, his, and his something was wrong and something was, and they were like, it's it just is what it is. That's all. There's no, it just is. Rain is
Mm.
just raining, and it'll stop when it stops. And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of saying, there's nothing wrong. And there's still nothing wrong. Like it's been days now, and there's still nothing wrong. And there used to be everything was wrong in my life, Everything felt wrong. Yeah.
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 Reminders are great sometimes, aren't they? They just, and the funny thing is that reminders seem to pop up when we need reminding.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, that's what I love about your stories. There's one every day. So,
They're just reminders. Yeah.
yeah. And what I love about the songs is, I mean, the stories, I read the stories, but the stories are here, right? I read the
Mm.
stories and then I think about them, but it's still all here. But when I'm with the song, I'm usually dancing, I'm singing along with it, I'm integrating it into my body, and that makes it's different, right? It's all the way in my blood, it's in my bones, yeah, it's deeper for me. And
Mm.
music is, oh, it's nothing like music to shift my mood and to um, lighten the weight of everything, even the weight of my body feels different. Well,
Mm.
yeah, I love that you do
Yeah.
them both.
I never appreciated music so much until I started doing them. I tell you, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always loved music. It's been my safety net forever. That thing where if I go to a piece of music that I love, everything's cool. Everything's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Good one. Yeah. I just I just did some while I got here a bit early today, and I just did a couple, and the one I just posted today was number 219. I've done 219 songs so far. They just keep happening. Getting a bit repetitive, I guess, but yeah, they keep on happening.
Yeah, but they're always different, right? I mean, that I think about that a lot. Like these melodies that all these musicians come up with. I mean, unless they're copying exactly, like we've seen a few times, right? With Chuck Berry and the Beach Boys, for instance.
Mm.
Uh, but every song has a different melody and different words, and it's like there's no end to the creativity that's possible. I find that
Mm.
fascinating.
It is fascinating, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
How have you been, Lon?
Um, Actually, I felt very stuck the last 2, 3 days, but rather physically. Um, yeah, I guess it's like the same sensation I used to have when I drank alcohol or smoked a cigarette or took drugs. Like, um, I don't know, like this inner pressure, like, no, I don't want to feel like this. But there were not so many stories attached to it. I just accepted that it is happening. And then, yeah, I felt into it, and it was like tickling in the feet and like shallow breathing, like this, I don't know, pressure here, and also a
Mm.
bit of headache and like being irritated, like the whole body. And I think it's really like the first time that in those situations I am able to remind myself of um, being curious about it and just diving into it. And then what actually happened was that I fell asleep. Like, I don't know, I did it maybe 4 times a day and I just fell asleep, but it felt like my system was just shutting down. And I didn't leave the flat, although we are in summer, it's like nice weather outside. And then yesterday it came to my mind that I it's not good for me to be always in this comfort zone, and then I felt spontaneously the urge to try out something that I always wanted to do. I always wanted to spend a night in the forest, but it always seemed to me a bit spooky. So then I prepared everything for going to the forest, and I was a bit excited also. And then in the end, I didn't stay all night because it started to rain and there was thunder and lightning and so on. But um, I was like in the midst of the forest, like with this very strong thunder and lightning, and I didn't feel fear and I didn't feel insecure or like, and then I noticed like actually this striving for safety is not what we always need. I mean, sometimes we also need something that shakes a bit like this feeling of safety because otherwise it would be pretty boring, I guess. Or maybe, I don't
Yeah.
know. But it was a very nice experience because, um, yeah, I just enjoyed every moment of it, like walking through the dark forest with this thunder and lightning and rain and so on, and like a summer rain, it was not cold. And somehow um, it came to my mind that, like, most of the time in my life, I used to kind of want to control things and plan things, and then things actually would more or less turn out as I expected them to be. But on the way to the goal, so to say, I would stress myself a lot with it. And I don't know, now, for example, I don't really know if the business that I'm going to do will pay my bills and stuff like that. So once in a while there are some thoughts coming back like, but what do I do if blah blah blah, and then but then suddenly it feels like boring. Like this kind of wanting to plan and control everything and like writing the script of my life and knowing anyway what is supposed to happen, like, and you don't really give life the opportunity to just unfold as it wants to. So um yeah, there was just, I don't know, a little shift of um not seeking for security so much anymore, but rather like welcoming adventures and thrilling moments. Yeah.
So when you had that old feeling turned up that
Mm.
you mentioned, and you were curious about that, were you curious about what triggered it, where it came from, or were you curious
Mm.
about what it was presenting as? or whatever,
Mm,
what something else. Yeah.
I mean, it keeps showing up, so it would be actually nice to know what it's all about, but I don't. I mean, I could kind of invent theories about the
Mm,
why
mm.
of this thing,
Yeah,
but
we don't want to do that though. Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I mean, um, but yeah, um,
So you say it keeps coming back. So this
yeah,
is it. There's a fairly regular occurrence of this turning up,
yeah,
is
yeah.
there? Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and before I would label it as boredom, but I kind of stripped off this layer because it's not really helpful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so you're
And
looking at
then,
what actually is there in
yeah,
sensations, etc. Yeah,
mm,
yeah.
now I'm kind of getting to know more like the raw sensation of it. But I mean, once in a while there is like this kind of reaction of thinking like, oh, I don't want this, but
Mm, mm.
um,
But the interesting part is that it turns up,
mm,
and you could describe it as wanting to get your attention,
yeah.
and the fact that it keeps coming back suggests that
Mm.
you're not seeing what it wants to show you.
Yeah, I don't I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you just get more curious under those circumstances. What I wonder
Mm,
what, and if it shows, great. If it doesn't, well, maybe
mm,
next time. Yeah.
mm, mm,
That it feels familiar. There's a little trap there, and that is to bring the past into the present.
mm,
Right? So when you go, it's familiar. You need to remind yourself that it's still
mm.
fresh. It's still happening now. It's not.
Uh, yeah, it comes to my mind that this label from familiar is also a diversion. I mean, it's like, ah, I
Mm,
already know that, so I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to
yeah,
look
yeah.
at
So
it.
we don't look at it freshly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that.
Mm. Yeah, I really do. I mean, I could have some ideas about it, but there is like, I suppose if um if I could see really what it was, then I would know that it's
Mm,
this thing. But it's
yeah.
not like this.
So maybe so that I agree with you very much that inventing a story about it
Hmm.
could be misleading, but when it does reveal what's behind it, it's likely to appear as a story, as
Hmm.
thoughts. So we don't want to simply dismiss things because they're a story.
Hmm.
We want to recognize, is that story descriptive, or does it have meaning and value built into it? In which case it's probably you've got to be careful not to get lost in it. But if it's
Hmm.
descriptive, then it's not if it's purely descriptive, it's not a story. It's
Hmm.
just words and a narration that might describe something. So, but you're looking for
Hmm.
intuition to tell you. You're looking, okay, well, that story feels more right than that story,
Hmm.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it certainly has something to do with grasping for something
Mm-hmm.
to get something to hold.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, mm, yeah, I mean, when I consumed drugs or alcohol, it was ju would just like numb this, and it would
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like, ah, okay, I'm calm now or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Yeah, I mean, in the last years, I would say there were like several things that were like substituting it. For example, the search for some spiritual path, or
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
search
yeah.
for romantic stories, or the search for the perfect place to live, or something like that.
Mm, mm.
And it can, like, those train of thoughts can still be activated,
Yeah,
but I won't buy into them anymore. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
totally sure. I mean, not intellectually, but I just know from my experience that it's not solving any
Yeah, they're
of
just diversions.
those
Yeah.
things. Yeah. And I think it's like maybe it's still sometimes this feeling of wanting to grasp something, knowing, but there isn't anything. So,
Mm,
and I
mm.
think it happens to me sometimes also like that, yeah, that I fall back into this kind of nihilistic thing, like, ah, but if there isn't anything, so nothing makes sense. So
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not motivated to do anything anymore, and that's part of this feeling of being
Yeah,
stuck
yeah, yeah,
also.
yeah. That's bypassing there, there. Well, that
Yeah,
happens too, yeah. But
that would be the story that I can observe. I
mm,
mean,
mm. Yeah, I don't think you would need to worry about getting lost in that stuff. It
mm,
reveals itself fairly quickly, I think. That
mm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting because like the last 3 weeks, it felt really like floating or something, like just not even thinking about grabbing
Mm,
something,
mm.
just clarity, calmness, and this kind of
Yep,
spontaneous
yeah. And
floating.
see, this
Yeah.
is an interesting one, isn't it? Because you can have those really, really lovely experiences, and you think, well, that's 100% good. But
Hmm.
inside it, you can miss the familiar, or you can grieve the loss of something, even though it was
Hmm.
shitty. All
Hmm.
sorts of things. So nothing is ever entirely good or entirely bad.
Hmm.
Everything's always a mixture of all sorts of things. And of course, one of the big things with those great feelings is, w- am I going to lose it? Is it going to last?
Hmm.
What happens when it goes away? Well, so we can start missing it before it goes away, because we've got this story that we get lost in about, oh, it's not going to last.
Hmm.
All sorts of things. There's just realities that, of course, nothing is static. Everything is always moving.
Hmm.
Yeah. And these
Hmm.
things that come up like that that appears as boredom or whatever, it's just, and it wouldn't come up unless you're in a position to notice what's going on. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be successful
Hmm.
about noticing what's behind it, but at least it's an opportunity, and maybe it'll take several goes before you do get a hold of it. And maybe it'll
Yeah.
still come back from time to time, but not regularly.
Hmm.
So when it comes back regularly, it's telling you something. It's
Hmm.
basically, the way to see it is, well, I'm not quite hearing the right message. I'm not hearing what it's
Hmm.
trying to tell me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's certainly not nice to
Mm,
experience it, but I would say that I'm already kind of okay with it coming back forever once in a while. I mean, it's um, I can, yeah, I can accept it also. It's not
mm, mm.
Of course, it would be preferable if it disappeared at some point, but I can't know if that will happen. I mean,
That's right. Yeah, it'll happen or not of its own accord.
so
Yeah.
I'm going, I don't know. I think I'm already like more friendly with it. Like
Hmm.
not, mm,
Great. Yes. Yeah. 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 That relationship with it is a big deal, and that changes the way it appears as well. When you're
mm,
friendly with it, it when it comes along, it's going to be different to when you're fighting it. Yeah.
mm.
Hmm. But sounds good. It sounds like you're on the right track to for that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm. Talk to me, Jenny. Are you able to? Okay. Well, it's time for me to go to bed then. A couple of minutes to midnight here. Uh, yeah.